talking about it not of an intro, but I do have a super weird, dumb day. This is the second time I try to record this intro, because the first time I said I don't have an intro, but I'm at the supermarket, which I don't know where that came from, and I was considering leaving it in. Whatever. I'm not at a supermarket. However, I'm in such a bad mood today. I'm a tiny bit angry, you could say. I don't know why. Nothing happened. It's just one of those days. So, you know those days where like nothing really went wrong or anything, but just like the amount of minor inconveniences just amounts up to you being in a bad mood. I have one of those days today. I know that everyone has these kind of days and it's fine. Just, bear with me. So, I don't know, just a bunch of small little things happened today that just made me a bit grumpy today. But on my way home, I got myself a donut with marshmallows on it, which that consoled me a tiny bit. But today we're back in our abandoned zoo build. I'm very excited for this just because it's almost over, which sounds weird. It's not that I want it to be finished, but like I'm excited to see it finished, if that makes sense. So that is why I'm really excited for the abandoned park right now, because I don't know, it kind of motivates me to know how many episodes there still will be, and like I have a concrete plan of what is going to happen. And this is one of the things that I knew for a while I definitely wanted to do, is make it old entrance. And this was such a challenge for me, and I don't know if it is because I'm in a bad mood today, or because it took way longer actually than I anticipated, but I'm not that happy with it. But also I'm well aware that this is something I think never done, is these type of entrances that are just like an archway and like a somewhat bigger archway, if that makes sense. So I usually tend to do like entrance buildings where you go inside a building, buy your tickets, and come out the other side, which I realize isn't very very realistic for a zoo. Like zoos don't technically usually do that. So I don't know why I keep doing that, but these archway things to me are so much harder than an actual building, which is interesting because a building is definitely more work decorating, but these things I never get to a point where I feel like they look realistic. So I definitely have to critique myself on this one. I'm not the happiest with it, but I knew that this was the type of entrance that I wanted. I think that this really reminds me of a shot from the first Madagascar movie, which I'm pretty sure is inspired, the zoo that it starts out in. I'm pretty sure it's inspired by the Central Park Zoo, and I'm almost not certain, but it could be that the Central Park Zoo actually has an entrance somewhat like this. So I will look this up when I'm listening back to my voiceover, and maybe I'll put in pictures if I can find them and if I feel like it. If not, well, I didn't. But I'm in a bad mood, okay? So that's my excuse for today. So, I don't know. I ordered hair dye and it didn't arrive, which... Well, no. Here's the thing. I wouldn't have been mad if it didn't arrive. I ordered it. I got the mail from the mail carrier that it was on its way and that it was gonna be there at like 1 p.m. And so a few minutes later, I get a mail from them that they couldn't reach me and that it will be sent back to the seller. And I was like, great. Why? And so they've written something that apparently my name on my doorbell isn't readable anymore. So I went out to check and it's true. Like it's kind of like bleached from the sun, but like my post box is very much readable. So I don't know why they didn't just like leave a card so that I could pick up the package somewhere. And now I have to wait for that to get sent back and come back to me, which is really annoying because it's like a peachy color of hair. So I wanted to do it when I didn't have that much work so that I have a few days to wash it out if it looks weird or like too crazy that I don't feel comfortable working with it, which... Real talk, it's stupid. Like, we should be working with any color of hair, but you know what I mean. So, that was kind of my thought process behind it. And also, I'm extra mad because usually I have blonde hair, and I've been putting off dyeing the blonde hair because I wanted to try the peach hair. So now I have roots that are kind of weird, but I've seen videos of the peach hair looking actually really cool when you have a bit of roots that are growing. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm always very stressed about changing anything about my hair because I have super long hair as well. So anything I do with it is not just stressful, it's also expensive. So I mean, could I have just gone to the hairdresser? Yes, I could. Do I absolutely know that hairdressers, if they see very long hair, they usually cut it off? No offense if you're a hairdresser, but my personal experience, whenever I went to a hairdresser, they cut off half my hair. Like, you know, and this is like for everyone I know with long hair, you know, hairdressers usually take off too much hair, and I get it. Like, I know that their job is to cut off the parts that are not healthy anymore, but here's the thing: if you have long hair, you kind of know that it's gonna be unhealthy in some capacity, and as long as it's not falling off, I think a lot of people are okay with that. So I don't know. I think that, you know, you're also very attached if you have very long hair, obviously. So yeah, that's a whole emotional topic. And so I was excited for the color to arrive, and now I have to wait because they sent it back to the seller. And I'm not sure, like, if I have to pay shipping again. I'm not sure I'm even gonna do it because I don't want to wait that long. Also, like, I don't know. It's the whole thing. So that is what I woke up to today. And I guess not woke up to. Well, I guess woke up to, yeah, because they send it, but then they were there way earlier, so I don't really know when I got up today, but definitely it was way before 1 p.m. when they said it was gonna arrive. I mean, I guess I couldn't have changed it anyway because I didn't know that the sign on my doorbell was bleached out. Never thought of that, never had any issues with that, but whatever. But yeah, so that's not a great way to start your day, and then like everything else went wrong. So I don't know. And also this build took way longer than I thought. I don't really know why. So I guess I'm just complaining today. I just feel like complaining. So maybe tomorrow I wake up, look back at this build, and I'm like, this is perfect. I guess not, but who knows? So one thing I wanted to talk about here is that I'm not the happiest with the parking lot because I honestly never built a parking lot before, so it was not the best idea to start out with an abandoned, broken one. I do, however, found out that I guess baobab tree is what you call them in English. It's actually funny because the German word is monkey bread tree. I don't know why, but like the German translation would be monkey bread tree. Like bread, like eating, like toast. So yeah, so that's the word for that in German, and I guess it's baobab tree in English, right? So anyway, I noticed that if you sink them down into the ground, they make excellent like little bushes that are kind of like strewn about, I guess. So absolutely gonna keep that in the back of my mind for future things. And yeah, that really helped me because I so far have always been sinking down I don't know what tree, but one of the tall trees I've been sinking down. So now I don't have to sink that many trees down and save some piece count. That's great. And yeah, this entrance, I guess, I also didn't have a very clear vision, which in the beginning of the video you could probably kind of tell that I was just like throwing things at the wall, see what sticks, which I do. I don't know. I wouldn't say often, but like I guess 50%. Is that often? I don't know. So I either go in with a very strict plan and get frustrated that I don't stick to it, or I go in with no plan, just a vague idea, and get frustrated that it doesn't look like what I wanted it to look like right away. So either way, there's always this point. I think this is with every creative person in every creative process, that there is a point where you're just like, I hate it so much, I'm gonna stop. And then you start liking it, usually shortly after that, so that's great. And you also have to learn to trust the process. So if you get to this point, that is the point where you have to keep pushing and have to keep going with like any art form whatsoever. And yeah, is it a bit much to say that building in Planet Zoo is an art form? Yes, probably, but it still stands, you know? You have to push past the point where you're just like, I don't know. So if you're there, keep going. So this is the last kind of teeny tiny bit here. It's building a fence, like a gate, what's it called? Like the perimeter of the zoo. So I never done a perimeter of any of my zoos, not even like playing on my own. Because I don't know, I never gotten there. I never gotten to the point where I wanted to do this, because I kind of tend to start my zoos sort of from the middle of the map and build them outward. So I've not been to the point where I had to do this yet. Not me saying that I never actually finished a zoo. I didn't. I don't think a lot of people actually have. I'm always like impressed with people like Delay Designer, who has a bunch of series, like the franchise series. I feel like she's had 10 series this year already, or the last year. So very impressive. I never get to finish anything. Not because I don't want to anymore, but just because I have a really hard time to stop myself when I'm into something. I'm always like, oh, you could add this, and you could add that, and you could add this. And so I'm never like, you said you were going to add 4 animals. You're not going to add more now. So I don't know. I guess I don't really stop myself. So yeah, very hard time finishing projects. But maybe that's why I'm so excited for this one to finish. But yeah, I guess I kind of wanted to make these sort of easily placeable, because I figured that there's a good chance that once you guys are renovating the zoo, you might want to, use the pieces and kind of move them around, change the border of the park, which is totally fine. So I wanted them to be easily usable, and so they're grouped and everything. So don't you worry about that. You can move them. I mean, you can do anything you want. You can plow everything and build a new zoo over it, but that's not really the point of this. But if you want to, you can do that. And so one last thing you're gonna see here is building a little bit of a zoo sign that is broken, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, so we're just gonna have a quick look at it in the real-time part then. And here we are at the zoo. Not the zoo, because the O fell down, it's the zoo. So let's look at this little entrance to the zoo, and yeah. So we have this little, like, obviously, like, not really a plaza, but like a walk up to the entrance. These used to be flower beds, but the flowers kind of took them back. Or I guess the nature itself took it back. I kind of boarded up these windows, just because I noticed that it looked kind of weird that there were like really modern computers standing there. We'll look at the parking lot later. Let's kind of keep it with this entrance for now. We have this like fallen tree that's kind of like broken things down. It also knocked down a lamppost, which for some reason I was laughing while I built this. I guess I'm bad towards lampposts. I don't know. I realized that these kind of like things don't make that much sense, but I don't know. Some zoos used to have them, so I guess it'll look fine. But yeah, let's just pretend that these like gates. Like I always figure like cities kind of do this to kind of prevent vandalism, but we don't care about that. So these dudes, obviously, I will put somewhere else and give them a nice retreat so that they don't stand around here, because it kind of ruins the immersion, I think. And yes, some boarded up windows. And oh, this is sticking through. Can we? Oh yeah, cool. We can. Cool. All right. What happened? What happened? Okay. And let's go for here and kind of look at it at the back. There's not much here, but I kind of wanted to, set you up to an entrance area for yourself here. And yeah, I mean, obviously, if you are to reuse this, there's no need to actually use this entrance. You can change it, you can modernize it, you can get rid of it entirely, whatever you want. But I wanted to build an entrance because that's also part of the zoo. And another boarded up window here. We can kind of have a look inside if you want to. It's not crazy, but yeah, those computers, I guess, wouldn't have really been the smartest to be showing in this like old thing that has probably been closed up for forever. So yeah, that's so I wanted to cover them up. But let's go to the parking lot. We kind of probably should have a different way to get across. But I gotta say, the parking lot is not my favorite, and I might actually get rid of it. I've never actually built a parking lot. I think I said this in the voiceover. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was kind of hard to make it look broken because it's just so bright and like perfect. So we have this car, which has obviously been here for a while, and I quite like looking over this like curb and onto the barrier. I was looking for this word before, the perimeter walls of the zoo. So I think that kind of gives it a really nice look from this parking lot. And then we go over here. There's also a broken bicycle. And yeah, have another look at the zoo. Ooh. And yeah, that's it. So, oh my god, no. Another thing I wanted to say, look at the decals on this specific like path tile. These decals are made for this path. I don't even think I recolored them. Look at this. They make absolute sense. It looks like these like natural shape rock tiles are just like chipped off and stuff. I quite like them together, so definitely probably will be using that again for something that is not abandoned but just used. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you're excited for the rest of the series. By the way, we're gonna add another episode to it because someone mentioned something really cool. I don't want to say what it is. I mean, you guess you could technically go back to the last video and find out if you read the comments, but if you are too lazy to do that, well, I have a surprise for you. But yeah. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope to see you around another time. Bye!